guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about how we increased our net worth by over $170,000 in 2021. When I say that number, it seems really unbelievable because our net worth was negative 200,000 plus for many years, and we did not make any progress on it. Our debt stayed the same or grew, and we barely grew our investments. And so to be able to say all that was done in 1 year is really just wild. There were some things that we did right to make that happen, and then there was some things that just happened in the stock market and in the housing market that really helped us increase our net worth that much in 1 year. So today I wanted to go through it with you and tell you exactly how we did it. If you're new around here, hey, I'm Lauren, and I make personal finance videos talking about many different topics, including my family's own journey to pay off six-figure student loan debt. So if you like videos like that, then hit that red subscribe button down there. I'd love to have you. We're gonna jump into a spreadsheet. If you guys are not new around here, you know I love spreadsheets. You've probably seen the spreadsheet before. This is our net worth spreadsheet, but what I did differently on this spreadsheet is I put our starting balances for all our assets as of January 1st, 2021, and then in the other column, I put the starting balances as of January 1st, 2022. So looking at an entire year, how much did each asset change in value, and kind of analyzing how much was our own contribution and how much was something that just was out of our control. Okay, starting off looking at our assets, because net worth is everything you own, or your assets minus everything you owe, or your liabilities. So you take all your assets and you subtract your liabilities, and that's your net worth number. People have different ideas of how to calculate it. Some people say include your cars, some people say don't include your cars, some people say include your real estate, other people say don't. For us, this is how we do it. It's a personal preference what you count and what you don't count. So yeah, that's how we do it, and I'm gonna go through it with you. So our house went up in value quite a bit. This was one of the biggest factors in improving our net worth. So our house started out the year worth $402,000 and ended the year with $460,000. So that was a change of $58,000. The housing market has been wild. It depends whether you're buying or selling or just staying in your house. I hope that it continues to stay stable from here. I hope it doesn't drop. I don't necessarily need it to go up or want it to go up. I mean, that's fine, but we're gonna sell in probably like, I don't know, a year and a half-ish, not a year, definitely longer than a year, but next year sometime we're looking to put our house on the market. So I definitely hope that it stays stable. If it goes up a little bit, that's great. But I think prices are pretty high right now, and I know a lot of young people are trying to buy houses, so I don't necessarily root for it to keep going higher, but over time, everything goes up in value, so we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to follow it in 2022. Next, our savings, which is our emergency fund and our sinking funds, that went from $18,396 to $12,196, so that was a decrease of $6,200. We added to our emergency fund, but then we took out of it to pay off debt, and so it ended up lower overall. That's actually our only asset that went down in the entire year. So that's pretty good considering all our other assets went up in value, and the only reason that one went down is because we used it to decrease a liability. Next is my husband's retirement, and started out at $25,600 and ended the year just over $55,000. So that was an increase of almost $30,000. We contributed $19,500, plus my husband got an employer match of a few thousand. I forget exactly how much it is. So I'd say like 2/3 of that was our contribution, and then 1/3 of that was just growth in the market. So that's pretty crazy. The stock market had an insane year. We invest in low-cost index funds that track a large portion of the stock market. We don't have a financial advisor, and we try to minimize our fees and just invest in as many stocks as we can, so we don't have to pick individual ones, and that's our strategy. If you're looking for an investing strategy, I highly recommend this book, The Simple Path to Wealth. That's where we learned a lot of the strategy that we currently use for investing. I also follow Personal Finance Club on Instagram. If you guys don't follow Jeremy, he's great. He does a lot of great infographics about investing in index funds and stuff. And then the other tool that I use is Personal Capital, and Personal Capital is a free service. It's actually a website, but I use their app, and you just input all of your assets and all your liabilities, and it does track your net worth, which is really nice. But the other thing that it does is it does like an investment checkup for you. So it'll analyze like where all your investments are and how much you're paying in fees and different metrics to look at. And then you can also put in how much you want to spend in retirement, and it'll do projections for you to tell you if you're on track or if you're behind. And so it's a really great tool. Like I said, it's free to use. So I will link Personal Capital in the video description if you guys want to check it out. I've been using it for a little over a year now, and I just think it's really great. Okay, so for my retirement, my accounts went from $14,000 to almost $25,000. So that was an increase of just under $11,000. I contributed $6,000 this year. So for me, my accounts went up by $5,000. That was just growth in the stock market, and then $6,000 because of my contribution. So again, stock market had a great year. It's not going to happen every year. We know that, but this year it did really help our net worth. All right, my brokerage accounts. I thought I hadn't started investing in my brokerage accounts, after-tax brokerage accounts, until January of 2021, but I guess I had started at the end of 2020. So I had $413 in brokerage at the beginning of the year and ended the year with over $5,600. So I talked about this in a recent video, but it's just crazy because this was kind of like just a side goal, like a throwaway goal. Just, oh, let me just see if I can put $25 here, $50 there. And I have a couple accounts through M1 Finance and Acorns where I get commissions when people sign up. So for example, for M1 Finance, which is my biggest investment account, I have a referral link. And if you guys sign up through my link for an account and you put $100 in there, then you get $50 and I get $50. Or at least that's their current promotion they're doing. It lasts through the end of March. So between referrals from that and then referrals from Acorns, where again, if you guys sign up, you get $5 and I get $5. I did get a bunch of referrals as well as investing my own money. So between all that, it really added up to end the year over $5,600, which is really cool to see. Plus, it's been really fun telling you guys about these investing options because I get so excited every time I get a sign up because I'm thinking this might be the first time somebody is getting involved in investing in the stock market. And if I can be the one that introduced them to that and got them excited about it and we're investing in the same account together, like that's kind of a fun thing to do together. So it feels really good to talk about these things and share knowledge about investing. And so yeah, I'm really excited every time I get a referral. I'm happy for you guys. Plus it's very nice for me to get that referral bonus as well. So we help each other out. When you guys sign up, you guys win and I win as well. All right, my daughter's 529 account went from $3,700 to $6,261. So that was an increase of $2,558. We contributed, I think, about $1,800. So it did have some growth. Going forward, since we are now at a positive net worth, thankfully, finally, because of all this growth this year, I'm going to be taking that off our net worth statement just because it's not an account we would ever plan to cash out to use for our own use because it's for my daughter's college. So yeah, I'm going to be taking that off, but some people include it, some people don't. All right, our HSA started out with a zero balance and then ended the year with a balance of just over $4,600. So that was a change of $4,600. And we do use that for medical expenses, so I do expect that to go down. And then cars, they were valued at $13,000, now they're $17,000. They're probably more than that. I didn't even check them like for the last few months, but yeah, used cars are just going up in value. We have a 2014 Camry and a 2015 Nissan Murano with a little over 100,000 miles in each, maybe like 120. And they're paid off and we plan to keep them. So I'm glad we're not in the used car market right now. All right, so our assets went from $477,136 to $586,309, and that was an increase of $109,173. As you can see, the biggest ones were our house and then my husband's retirement. Those were the biggest changes in the asset side. On to the liabilities, our mortgage went from $308,494 down to $302,403, and that was a decrease of just over $6,000. So each month when we pay our mortgage payment, about $500 goes towards mortgage principal and the rest goes towards taxes and interest. And so yeah, we're not paying extra on our mortgage because we're planning to sell our house next year, and even if we weren't, we are in a lot of debt, student loan debt, and so I just don't have that as a priority on our financial goals right now. Next, our home equity line of credit went from $22,299 down to $0. So that was a change of $22,299. So that's why our savings went down so much. It's because we did take a chunk of the savings and put it towards our home equity line of credit to get that paid off by the end of the year. But yeah, that one decreased by over $22,000. So that was a huge factor in our increase in our net worth. Next, I've got my graduate school student loans. So that started the year at over $200,000, $202,000, and ended the year at $185,683. So that was a decrease of $16,446. And then we've got my husband's student loan that went from $102,681 to $85,157. That was a decrease of $17,524. And then my husband's undergraduate school student loan just had a balance of $25,86 at the beginning of the year, and we paid that off, I think, in January. So that ended the year at 0, and that was a decrease of $25.86. So we paid off a lot of debt in the year. So like I said, there were some things that were because of our actions that increased our net worth, and some things that were out of our control. So the debt payoff and the retirement contributions were things that are our control, but the retirement account growth because of investments in the stock market and our home value going up because of the housing market, those were things that were not in our control and could have gone the other way. And so when you add it all up, it ended up being a good year, but you know, half of it was our doing and half of it was kind of out of our control. I actually have a breakdown I'm going to show you guys in a second and see like what percent did each asset group contribute to our net worth increase. All right, so finally, I have a balance on American Express card, which we didn't have at the beginning of the year. We were credit card debt free, and then we put my Invisalign on a credit card only because we could get 0% interest for 12 months, and it has really great cash back benefits. So I'm just using the cash back to pay down that balance until we hit the 1 year mark, just before we hit the 1 year mark, and then I'm going to use either cash we have or our HSA to pay off the balance. So that was an increase of $29.35 for that card. That was the only liability that increased this year, which is actually really great because in my head, I'm not even counting that as liability because like I said, I could have put 100% on the HSA and not have that there, but I'd rather keep as much money in the HSA as possible because it's a tax advantaged account. And so I want to maximize the use of that account as much as possible. And also, like other years, every year before 2020, our liabilities had gone up or stayed the same. So our liabilities did decrease by almost $56,000 in 2021. And so just seeing that happen was really encouraging and just feels really good. So our liabilities started out at $638,189 and ended at $576,178. So if you guys know me, you know I love my charts and my graphs and my spreadsheets. So I did break this down into categories and a nice little pie chart to show you guys how this is broken down. So real estate was an increase of $58,000. So that was 33.9% of our net worth increase this year was because of real estate. So a third would be 33.3%. So it's basically a third of our net worth increase was from real estate. And then investments were 30.9%. So that was an increase of $52,873. And again, that was about a third of our net worth increase. And then our cars were 2.6%. So an increase of $4,500. And then debt decreased by $55,920. And so that was 32.6% of our net worth increase. So it was actually kind of split evenly when I took a look at it. It was interesting to see that. If you don't really pay attention to the cars, the real estate, the investments, and the debt all improved our net worth in pretty equal proportions. So I'll be interested to see if that holds true in 2022 and see what the market does in 2022 compared to what we do to contribute to our own net worth increases. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys found this interesting. I thought I would do like this breakdown and just kind of analyze it a little bit and reflect on how we made this happen. If you're trying to increase your net worth, I hope you found this video insightful and eye-opening. A lot of people, when they're paying off debt, don't contribute anything to investing and retirement, and that's okay, but that's not how we did it. And if we hadn't contributed anything to investing this year, I don't think we would have hit this positive net worth because that stock market growth was what really put us over the edge, I feel like. And also, once we're debt free, it will feel good to have a decent start on investing, because with investing, the longer you have money in the stock market, the more time it has to grow. And again, if you guys want to check out Personal Capital, which I'll link in the video description, if you run some numbers through their analysis there, it'll show you how it helps to have more money invested earlier than just kind of backloading it and contributing extra later, because the biggest factor in growing your investments is having time for the gains in the stock market to compound. So if you put $200,000 in and let it sit for 40 years. That's not the same as putting $200,000 in and letting it sit for 10 years. So the older you are when you put money into the stock market, the less time it has to grow. So really getting some money in there as soon as possible, even while you're in debt, I am a huge fan of. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Just hit that red subscribe button. If you are working on growing your net worth and you are negative, I hope you found this encouraging. If you're positive, congratulations, good for you. Let's stick in these positive numbers and just grow them going forward. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.